And welcome to another edition of Ducks No Sports. This week, we're talking about Divisional Round in the NFL. Should be an interesting one with last week's games, the wild card. Not the best football in the world, as we saw a lot of crappy games last week, but I think these four matchups this week will improve that, as I believe the divisional weekend is give you some pretty good ball. And I really think all these games, a lot of them can go either way. We'll start our first matchup of the week as the Baltimore Ravens travel to Mile High to take on Peyton Manning and the Denver Broncos. Should be an exciting one. I'll start with Baltimore first. Baltimore last week did not play well. I know they won the game, but I just think they did everything in their power not to win that game. I mean, bad penalties, just stupid play after stupid play. Ray Rice turned the ball over twice, which he never did during the season. And they have to really tighten up, because if the Baltimore Ravens stand a chance this game, it's going to be on the shoulders of Ray Rice, as I believe Ray Rice has to run the rock a lot this week and kill some clock to keep Peyton Manning off the field. And Joe Flacco has played a lot better, as Joe Flacco did not play great, but Joe Flacco seems to always win. Seems to always get to Championship Sunday. So it will be interesting this week, as Baltimore Ravens have a chance in this game. A lot of people aren't giving them a chance. But I think the Baltimore Ravens really have a chance if they run the ball with Ray Rice. And if Joe Flacco plays more consistent and this defense plays the way they did last week, they will have a chance, because last week Andrew Luck didn't know what to do. I mean, there was Ray Lewis, Suggs, everybody was in his face last week. Had nowhere to go, and he played a really bad game. And the defense plays the way it played last week, will have a chance. And they're going to have to play this week, because they are playing Denver Broncos, who have won 8 games in a row. Again, you can question that game winning streak, as they didn't really beat anyone in that streak. They beat, an alright Bengals team and a Ravens team, besides a lot of soft competition for the Broncos this year. But Peyton Manning, for my money, is not the MVP. As Adrian Peterson is the MVP, but he is runner-up, as he's played great. Really shocking. Coming into the year, I didn't think Denver would play that well. I think they would struggle this year. I thought it would take Peyton Manning just a year to get this offense going. But I was wrong, as he just played good from start to finish. And I'm really liking the way Denver's playing. But I really like about Denver is not Peyton Manning's what's pressing on his team. It's Von Miller, as quietly is becoming the best linebacker, in the NFL, as he is just a beast off the edge. Gets to the quarterback, seems to be in the quarterback's face every play, it seems like. Von Miller's just a different beast. And I think Von Miller's going to be different in this one. I think the Baltimore Ravens will come to play. Still led by Ray Lewis, but unfortunately this will be Ray Lewis's last game, as the Denver Broncos, led by Peyton Manning on offense and Von Miller on defense, are just a step faster and a step better than the Baltimore Ravens right now. And the Denver Broncos win. This game will be tight. Field goal type game, but the Denver Broncos get it done this Saturday. Our next matchup. The Green Bay Packers travel to San Francisco to take on the 49ers. Should be interesting. The old Packer-49er rivalry back in effect, as of course these teams met in week 1 of the season, and the 49ers won handily. I think it's going to be a little bit more closer, as I believe the San Francisco 49ers are struggling a little bit. Let's be honest. The 49ers coming into the playoffs, not playing their best ball. Going to Kaepernick, to me, I thought it was too soon. I would have sat Kaepernick for another year and started him next year. Obviously this kid was the future. And he's been he's been up and down. Let's be honest. He's, 1 week he looks great against a Patriots team. Next week he looks awful. And it's just the San Francisco 49ers have a chance to go to the Super Bowl. On paper, they're probably the best team in the NFC. On paper. But I just think a young quarterback not knowing what to do in a situation like this, where he's never played in a playoff game before, and never really a big bowl game because he went to a small college, so he's never faced the kind of pressure that he's going to face this week. And a defense who at times looks great, but at other times looks pretty inconsistent. The San Francisco 49ers, you put one word on 49ers, it would be inconsistent. Yes, they got the second seed, but they didn't look pretty getting that second seed, as they looked pretty up and down. And I still remember back in week 15 when they just got their butts whooped by the Seattle Seahawks. So I still have a lot of questions about the 49ers, and I think it's a bad matchup this week because they're playing the Green Bay Packers, an experienced team. You got Aaron Rodgers, who loves beating the 49ers ever since they passed on him in the first overall of the draft. And I just think the Packers are going to come to play this week. The Packers will be ready on the road, but the Packers with Aaron Rodgers, the best player in football, no doubt, with his receiving core. And if they can run the ball effectively as they did last week, this Green Bay Packers team might be unstoppable. And I really like the Packers this week, as I think they go with San Fran and get it done. I like Aaron Rodgers. I think Aaron Rodgers has a great game. I think they still consistently run the ball. And this defense, very underrated, as they're not great, but they're not awful. So I think the Green Bay Packers go San Fran and get it done this week. Again, a tight game. I see a touchdown. I think Packers win by a touchdown, but the Green Bay Packers get it done this week. Our next matchup of the week is probably the most interesting matchup, as the Seattle Seahawks travel to Atlanta, take on the Atlanta Falcons. And both interesting on both sides of the equation here, because I think this is a very interesting matchup, but we'll get to that in a minute. As first, we're going to talk about the Seattle Seahawks, who, I'll be honest, start of the year I didn't think Seattle would be that good, but they won me over about week 3 when they played the Packers. They really showed me that they could be a team, and I just rode with them as I really became in love with the Seattle Seahawks through the year. But I really think through the year, and then putting up all those points, a 3-week span with 150 points, I really think they became a little bit overhyped in a way, because are they a good team yet? But are they a Super Bowl type team? I don't think so. Are they consistent? Yeah, they're pretty consistent with Marshawn Lynch running the ball. Buffalo Bills probably regret that trade right about now. With that trade, Marshawn Lynch, of course, has been the most consistent running back the last couple of years with Seattle Seahawks. And Russell Wilson, say what you want about the guy, but he's getting it done. He's the last rookie quarterback in the year of the rookie QBs, still in the playoffs. That has to be said. And Seattle and their defense, those two corners, really good. Tough, physical corners, which I think could create problems this week for Julio Jones and Rodney White. And just the defensive line just gets after the quarterback. There's nothing bad right now to say about Seattle Seahawks. But they're playing a desperate Atlanta team that needs to win this game. Matt Ryan needs to get off the schneid in the playoffs. Of course, 0-3 in the playoffs. And the last couple playoffs have not been very good. Of course, last year against New York Giants on the road, put up a whopping 2 points. So he has to play a lot better than he did then. And of course, 2 years ago against the Packers, being number 1 seed, which they are this year, and just got their butts whooped by the Green Bay Packers, who went on course to win the Super Bowl that year. So Atlanta really needs to win this game, and they can't be one-dimensional. They can't fall in a situation where they're throwing it every down, because if you start throwing it every down, I really believe the Seattle Seahawks can take that element out of their game, because they got Browner and Sherman on 2 corners, two physical guys I think will make matchup problems for Julio and Rodney White. I think be a big problem. I expect a big week from Tony Scales this week, as I think that middle of the field is going to open up, and Matt Ryan could find him all day long. But for this team to win this week, Michael Turner has to get going. Michael Turner has to turn back into the burner and be a nice physical force like it was the first couple of years with Atlanta. And I just think a desperate Atlanta team, Matt Ryan is going to play well. I think this defense is going to come to show that they are a lot better than people give them credit for. And I think the Atlanta Falcons, a desperate team to win a playoff game. Matt Ryan gets his first playoff win. I believe the Atlanta Falcons get it done this week and come away with the victory. And our last matchup of the week, it is the Houston Texans traveling down to Foxborough to take on New England. As of course, last time they traveled there, it was not pretty, as Houston That Monday nighter just got their ass whooped from start to finish. Houston, but last week Houston, they played all right. They didn't play great, you know, but I think for Houston to win this game, it's gonna depends on one guy. That's Foster. If Foster can run the ball, consistently keep Tom Brady off the field. Let's be honest. The only way the Patriots are going to lose this game is if Tom Brady's not on the field. And I think Matt Schaub, isn't the greatest quarterback in the world, but I think he could do enough this week if they went to get it done. I think Foster has to carry the load a lot. Like in Baltimore with Ray Rice, Foster will have to carry the load to get this one done. And this defense, very, very good defense. A very good defense. Top 5 defense in the league. But J.J. Watt will have to have a better game than he did the last time these two teams played, as J.J. Watt, of course, had 0 sacks that day. He'll have to have a little more than that. I expect J.J. Watt to come off the edge a lot this week and be a beast and maybe have to get a few sacks on Brady. But let's be honest, they're playing New England Patriots, who right now are just a runaway freight train. They just look like to be the best team in the NFL right now. I really like New England going into the playoffs. As Tom Brady's just, what more can you say about the guy? Every year you think he's going to decline, but he goes the other way and gets better and better and better. Not the best receiving core in the world, but seems to make pro bowlers out of nothing. And this team is a different element this year because they can run the ball a little more this year. So it should be interesting with their offense, with Tom Brady. And on defense, gives up a lot of yards, but do not give up points and will force turnovers, which is a very, very dangerous defense. Like I always say, the best defense, championship defenses know when to make a big play at a big time, and New England defense knows how to get it done. At that point, knows how to create a big turnover at a big part of the game, and that's why I just like New England. Like I want to thank Houston, but I just think it's going to be cold. It might be snowing in New England this Sunday. And I just think it'll be Matt Schaub over his head, and Foster's in a bad game. I think this going to get out of hand fast, and I like the New England Patriots to get it done this Sunday. Okay, to recap, I like Denver to beat Baltimore, Green Bay to beat San Fran, Atlanta to beat Seattle, and New England to beat Houston. Well, till next time, I'm Aaron Ducks, and we're saying I'm Ducks, and I know sports. Got it.